Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Paw Your Way into Our Hearts layout. I am also combining this with Scraptember 2025, and today's prompt is all about stitching. So I picked out this rainbow of color based off of a couple items that I picked out from Cocoa Vanilla as well as Pretty Little Studios. So from Pretty Little Studios, I had these stars left over from the Sunkissed collection back in the day when Janet and I picked the Sunkissed collection to be part of our Kit Conspiracy kit. So those were the few little stars that I had left over. I've got some uber super cute pictures of my puppy Roscoe just hanging out in the kitchen. He is never ever very far from me when I'm in the kitchen. And then from Cocoa Vanilla, I have the Legendary Collection clear stickers as well as the happiness ones, and then the Boys Rule. I only have half of that one. I left the other one in my little Cocoa Vanilla bin. I have some tiny word stickers also from Boys Rule, and then from their Sunkissed collection, I have this awesome teal aqua color chevron paper. And then from Bohemian Dreams, I have their chipboard word set. And then new to my shop, I have this star stitching template. I'm currently out of stock, but I'll have the link down below because as soon as I get back, probably not next week, but the week after, more will come back into stock. And also in my collection or in my shop, I have this new little set. It is a starter stitching set. It does not come with the star. It actually comes with an exclusive set of rulers for stitching. You get a stitching piercing pad as well as a needle holder. So it's like a little box for your needles. And then I did not bring in the rulers, but the rulers are basic stitching. And they actually have their engraving on them so you can see what it is that you're stitching. Stay tuned for that because I actually will be doing a little tutorial on how to use that stitching ruler just to, yeah, find the time, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is trim away a little bit of the white border around my puppies, because I need to get them to fit on my little 4x6 or 4x12, I'm sorry, little frames that I have going on here. And I have to say that the smaller photos are not quite 4x3, and I always get either they're too tall or too wide when I go to just cut my paper down to 4x3. So it still ends up working. It just drives me a little crazy that I have to trim off the tops or the sides every now and then to get them all to fit where they belong. It just doesn't make any sense to me as to why I can't get them to be 4x3, but I know that it has to do with that white border going on around them. So I just like that tiny little white border. I'm a big fan of that now. Whereas before I was not. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my pictures, and I really want them offset to the left a little bit because I feel like that's the direction that my puppy is laying, except for the one where I'm looking right down at him and he's sitting he's sitting down. I feel like that is almost dead on. And so I want that one to be almost central into the layout as well, and then all the other pictures being over on the left. So once I get all of my lines drawn to where I want my pictures, that's where the stitching is going to come in place. Now these are just super fun photos of Roscoe waiting patiently for me to drop something in the kitchen, right? That's what he does every single time. He is never very far from where I am. If I'm in the middle of the kitchen, he's in the middle of the kitchen, only mere inches away from me. If I am over by the sink, he is right behind me by the sink. It drives my family crazy, but he keeps me company when nobody else is at home. So I really honestly cannot complain. All right, so I went through and I punched out a ton of stars. I started with a large star and worked my way down until I got down to, I don't want to say it was the smallest star, but I got down to a pretty small star. And then I'm going to color match each color of paper star from Pretty Little Studio with its coordinating thread. And so I've got two different pinks, a light pink and a dark pink, and then of course all the rest of the rainbow, orange, yellow, green, light blue, and dark blue, or an aqua, I guess. But I didn't want them in rainbow, like going around. So I didn't want them to start out as Roy G. Biv going around. I wanted them to be all mixed up. And then what I'm going to do before I start stitching is I'm going to add these little paint swatch stickers. I never ever had a clue what to do with all of these little stickers. For one, they're not my favorite because they're shiny. I have a problem with these clear stickers being shiny. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet. But honestly, once they're applied onto the layout and then you add everything else to this layout, you can't even tell you can tell that they're there, but then they become part of the layout, just like anything else that you would add. I just struggle with them, and I don't know why. So I just need to get over it and start actually using all of my supplies, whether they're shiny or not, or move them out. If you don't really like them, why are they there? I don't know. I keep asking myself that all the time. All right, so now that I've color matched all of my orange to where my orange star is going to go, and pink and blue and green and yellow and so on and so forth, I need to go back through where I covered up my holes with the stickers and poke them back out again, just re-poking through the little sticker thing, and hope that my needle doesn't get all sticky going through stickers. But in all honesty, it's only going to go through about 2 or 3 little holes instead of like the whole design is covered in sticker. I also decided to do a chain stitch for all of my stars, but the difference between all these chain stitches is some of them have 6 strands of thread for each chain. Some of them only have 3 strands. And actually, I think one of them has 2 strands. I think the blue has only 2. I don't really remember. But they all have different strands of floss, and that makes them either thicker or thinner in the chain stitch. So I really like how bold they became because I chose to do a chain stitch instead of just a back stitch. And I just absolutely love, even though I didn't have a clue what I was doing with these stickers, I absolutely love how they ended up looking and the color matching. I really do like the color matching, and I don't intend to do anything else, if I'm being honest. I didn't have any other plans to fill in the stars. I didn't have any other plans at all. I know I'm going to pop up my photos on some foam just to give this layout a little bit of dimension. But other than that, I'm not doing anything. I also did not do any stitching behind the photos. I just didn't feel a need to have to stitch in those stars if they're just going to get covered up. Now, they definitely would have helped with the dimension aspect of everything, because then I wouldn't have had to use so much foam. But I don't really feel like I use a lot of foam when it comes to these little fun foam sheets anyways. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue down some of my stars. I popped some of them up, and then I'm gluing some of them down. Now, the green star and this open aqua star are going to go underneath my title, which is just going to say sweetheart, because that is what my puppy is. He is just one big old huge sweetheart, and I can never say no to that face unless I know it's going to do him harm. So pretty much that's the only reason why I would say no, but he is adorable. He's just the cutest puppy ever. We have made the decision, since our kids are getting older, we have made the decision of no more pets at this time, because if we have to travel to go see our kids or anything like that, finding a pup sitter is very hard. So yes, we have made the decision that he will be our last four-legged child, at least at this moment in time, because we want to be able to travel and do things related to, where all of our kids are going to end up. So, all right. So I'm going to have these cute little tiny word stickers. One says the best. The other one says Boy Wander, and then the other one I think says something fantastic. Maybe simply fantastic. I don't know. And then I did add some of the black clear stars just to bring in some more of that black to go with the title. And I felt like my layout was really missing another element. So I'm going to pick a solid or reads as a solid print to go as a frame around my entire layout. And I chose this black one. I do not remember where it's from. Maybe I'll cut the branding strip off if I haven't yet. At least I hope so. But I am cutting a 3/8 of an inch border around my stitching because that is the closest that I could get to my stitches without actually breaking them off. Another tip too, when you're doing a chain stitch on a star or around a corner, I do glue a little bit of that thread down just so it holds its shape. If not, I feel like it will try to pull too much, and then I have rounded star tips. And so just to let you guys know that, I added just a dab of little tiny glue on the points of all of my stars to hold that thread in its shape. So again, I missed seeing where this black print, I don't know, it's a diagonal polka dotted print. I missed where, if I cut off the branding strip or whatnot, because I was talking too much and was not even looking at the video. I apologize. But I am going to just use the whole thing up. I have a small stash of reads as a solid prints that have been decommissioned from their collections. And so, yeah, I do not recognize this paper at all, like especially the backside. And I just keep them there for purposes like this, so I can get that colorful border going behind my layout. So anyways, it says Mr. Fantastic. That's cool. He is Mr. Fantastic. All right, you guys. So that is my layout for today. I had so much fun playing with the stars and stitching and remembering how to do this chain stitch. It is one that is very challenging. I am not very good at it at all, but I also enjoyed mixing it up a little bit by doing the different types of threads and things. All right, you guys, so don't forget to check out all the links that I have down below. I have a couple links for Scraptember, a link for Paw Your Way into Our Hearts, as well as a link for me and my shop and everything else that is down in the link tree. All right, again, thank you so much, and I'll check you guys all later. Bye.